And again, this is your final. They had the consolation earlier today. So this is Sarah Blank with her first dive. A junior for ECU. And right now, this is Ellen Posh, the senior for Cincinnati, out of Cleveland Heights with her first dive. We'll see 8 divers, 6 rounds, so 6 dives per competitor. Fourth in the rotation is Taylor Olhauser. We saw the freshman Mustang yesterday out of Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. But as Kristen pointed out yesterday, actually went to high school nearby at Keller High School here in the Dallas area.
Trained with GC Divers, as I mentioned, nationally recognized club team.
Yesterday we saw her place 3rd overall in the 3-meter dive. What you're looking for in your top left corner, again, Olhauser there to help us demonstrate. Still waiting on the 4th judge's score, but you'll see who your lead diver is right now. And right now, that is Sarah Blank, the first individual we saw for ECU. You'll see the dive that they will attempt. This is the forward 1.5 somersault.
Oh, that was pretty.
With a twist.
You know, it's interesting, Lincoln. Lauren Burrell actually comes into this meet with the top time of the top mark of 4:03.25. She didn't even make finals.
Yeah, she finished 10th in the prelims, so was too short of the cut. She had the best regular season score this year.
Big surprise there. But Katie Crown, the freshman from SMU, it'll be interesting to see how she does. She's been phenomenal. Was great yesterday on 3-meter.
Claire Sherman completes her first dive and included a 7 as her top score. We now shift to Erin Clifford. We saw her place 4th yesterday in 3 meters, the freshman from UConn. Husky head diving coach is John Bransfield. She's 7th in the rotation.
Great dive.
And Katie Crown was the class of the prelims on the diving board here in the 1 meter. She placed 8th overall yesterday in the 3 meter. Another look there for Clifford. And here is Katie Crown, the freshman for SMU out of nearby Southlake Carroll High School.
Go Dragons.
Yeah, I'm sitting with a former Dragon in her own right, former diver in her own right.
Slightly off on the entry, but she still ripped it. You saw very little splash there. Well, she got that 7.
Judges will toss in a 7. Second dive for Sarah Blank, who finished 6th yesterday in the 3 meter. She's a native of West Texas, Midland, Texas, but started her career over at Clemson as a Tiger, now diving for Jesse Lyman at ECU. Cameron Dawkins, a sophomore for UConn, looking to become yet another Husky to win this event. We saw Ali Butera take it last year. After Houston divers had won this event the first 3 seasons. So Dawkins now with her 2nd dive complete. And back to our 3rd diver in the rotation, Ellen Posh, out of Cleveland Heights, Ohio. Her diving coach, Curtly Krumholtz for Cincinnati. She had a strong showing this year on the platform. I know they're excited about that. She was 3rd best in this conference on the platform and shows off what she can do on the 1 meter.
That was a gorgeous entry. I can't believe it's not a higher score based on that entry. Little bobble and a little far away from the board, but that entry was very clean.
Back to SMU and Taylor Olhauser, one of our 2 freshman Mustangs.
Another great entry.
And her 2nd dive will be straight 6s. Alicia Rouchet of ECU, now with her 2nd dive. She finished 5th yesterday in the 3 meter. As Kristen noted, Lauren Burrell, yesterday's champion for the women, sophomore, Did not make it here to the finals. I think Houston was expecting to collect some points on the diving boards, but it will not happen today. We are without a Cougar here in this 8-diver rotation.
That was nice. A high degree of difficulty at the pike position.
Sherman with 2 5s, a pair of 5.5s, and a 6. Back to Aaron Clifford, second to last diver in the rotation, the freshman for UConn, out of Westtown, New York. A pair of 6s and 3 6.5s. And Katie Crown, who had a score of 280.35 in the prelims, goes last in this 8-diver rotation.
Great rotation. She gets her hips up at the top. That's what starts the rotation very fast.
3 7s, a 6.5, and a 6 on the second dive tonight for Crown. Sarah Blank will lead off round 3.
A little short, not quite vertical on the entry, but still clean.
That's reflected in the scores.
It's hard to tell from that angle, but from the side, you'll see she's a little bit short, not quite vertical. That's where the deduction's coming from.
Well, we saw a male diver yesterday balk on one of his dives, but still go on to win the whole event, talking about Bryce Klein. So you can always let one slip away, perhaps, and all is not lost. Cameron Dawkins completes her third dive.
Ellen Posh out of Cincinnati. She's had a really good second half of the season. She qualified for zones just 3 weeks ago. So she will be making NCAA zones coming up.
Everybody right now is following Sarah Blank, who is your leader at the moment.
Not quite all the way around on that twist. That's gonna cost her.
A little unnerving on the backwards dives. You see the delayed video on that wall there as you can watch your own dive to evaluate it moments later.
Very nice. Good position, good distance away from the board. Left her toes a little flexed. Could have pointed a little bit more, but a good dive.
Takes us back to Alicia Rouchet for ECU. One of our 2 Pirates among the top 8.
Great height.
That one, that relay start looked really good. Come up a little sooner off that start.
Claire Sherman for Cincinnati was your runner-up yesterday on the 3-meter.
You were like almost faster than anybody.
Struggled a little bit with that hurdle. You saw her come over to the side of the board like that. That's where those deductions came in, but she held on to it.
5.5s, accompanied by 1.6. Claire Sherman is now your leader. Aaron Clifford.
That was pretty.
And with that, Clifford will wrestle away the advantage. See if Katie Crown can continue this trend. And the Mustang does, in fact, become your front runner as we are halfway through. 3 rounds complete with 3 to go.
Got 2 freshmen and a sophomore battling it out, Lincoln.
Back to the juniors, Sarah Blank. And Blank for ECU will take back over the advantage, and it appears it'll be that kind of night. Everyone just trying to set the bar higher and higher. Here's Cameron Dawkins, the sophomore for UConn.
Great pike, but it's really interesting when you go in feet first. There's always a little bit of judgment because you're expecting to see a diver go in head first, and even the judges, even though they know what they're expecting to see on that, it's not common.
It is something I would hazard a guess, since most of our viewers only see it during the Olympics or in the summertime every 4 years, something they haven't seen.
No, it's very subjective in the sense that a diver, for instance, she could have done a 1.5, a tuck or a pike, been very clean at it, but she wanted to go for the double. Obviously, it's a workup. It's a work in progress.
Ellen Posh with her 4th dive, a good showing.
But because you don't see it very often, including the judges, they tend to deduct for it. The scores won't be as high, even if the dive is completed and executed well.
You may have noticed there's a little bit longer delay before all the judges' scores had been entered.
Yeah, we've seen 2 feet first entries so far.
Here's Olhauser again, your 4th diver.
It'll be a scratch.
And that will be the one that she throws away.
That's too bad. If you can save the dive, you can stay on the board, Lincoln. You get to start again. They deduct 2 points for a balk. But if you fall off like that, you don't get to do it again. So it's a 0.
We saw that yesterday for our eventual champion. Back to Alicia Rouchet for the Pirates.
That was very nice. Great reach at the top, good height. Just a solid dive.
So our leader right now is Rouchet following that dive. Here's Claire Sherman, who briefly led after her dive last round.
And yesterday, Claire said, look, I left some tricks in my bag. It's not going to happen in 1 meter.
And she does take back over the lead with those scores. Erin Clifford also briefly led last round.
She pulled that one around. That's a tough dive.
And she now is back in the driver's seat here in round 4 with 1 diver to go.
2 twist. Wasn't quite clean on the end, but she made it happen.
Katie Crown led after the first 3 rounds. See if she can capture another round here. Just a freshman.
Oh, that's going to hurt her. She came out very early. She had such great height there, Lincoln. She probably thought her rotation was a little faster. That's why she came out.
As a result, through 4 rounds, Erin Clifford, the freshman for UConn, is your leader. There's Sarah Blank to kick off round 5 in our women's 1 meter. And she'll have 1 dive remaining tonight.
Her rotation is amazing, but not quite the height that you want to see on that dive.
Back to Cameron Dawkins now, the sophomore from UConn, with her second to last dive.
And that made me nervous.
Ellen Posh, third in this rotation right now. Sarah Blank for ECU, who has completed 5 dives, is your leader. Posh, one of 2 Bearcats among the final 8 here, along with Claire Sherman. That's not a live image she's staring at either. That's a little delay, and I imagine she's avoiding. Again, looking at that screen.
That was beautiful. That was gorgeous. And she took a minute, and I know she might have seen the previous dive. Cameron was a little close to the board. That always makes divers nervous if you see that. That was a beautiful dive.
A great dive, but is not going to overtake Sarah Blank. And this is time to bounce back for Taylor Olhauser. Olhauser, SMU.
Great dive. Very clean. Yeah.
And it is still Sarah Blank in the advantage as you get another look at Olhauser's dive.
Good dive, slightly pushed a little too far from the board.
Again,
very clean.
Rouchet for ECU.
Not quite vertical on the entry, but a solid dive, very clean.
All right, Claire Sherman, can she take back over the lead here?
This is a high degree of difficulty. That should do it.
The sophomore from Kettering, Ohio is now in front with 1 dive left.
Great rotation. Keeps her feet together on the entry.
Second to last dive for the freshman from UConn, Erin Clifford. Will she find herself at the top?
That might do it for her. That was a very, very good dive. Fast rotation, clean on the entry.
And she is, in fact, leading now. 4 6s, a 5.5 on that dive. Now Katie Crown, the freshman for SMU. Looking to wrestle the lead away from Clifford. Well, our 8 divers have 1 dive left. We'll get another look here at Katie Crown before we enter the 6th and final round. Final dive tonight for Sarah Blank. She's had some good ones. See if she has given herself a shot here. She has. That's your leader with 7 divers to go.
She could have opened up a little bit harder. Stopped that rotation. She knows it.
Final dive for Cameron Dawkins, the sophomore for UConn. In the end, she'll just be a little over 4 points off the leader. Ellen Posh, the senior, her final chance to dive in the championships on the 1 meter. I know, again, they're excited about her on the platform.
Nice dive.
That's how Posh wraps up her final round.
It's a lower degree of difficulty than our other dives, but she's able to execute it very well.
Ellen Posh with that dive overtakes Sarah Blank for the lead. Three of our last 5 divers are freshmen, including Taylor Olhauser.
Good dive, but not enough to recover from that. That's zeros. It's nearly impossible when that happens.
Alicia Rouchet, the senior.
Slightly overturned on the entry, but it was clean.
It's enough to put her now in the lead. Can a senior hang on with a sophomore and 2 freshmen on the horizon now? That sophomore, Claire Sherman for Cincinnati. Placed second yesterday in the 3-meter.
Oh, that was very nice.
She has a built-in cheering section nearby, but they know what they're talking about. A 7 rings through, along with a pair of 6.5s, a 6 and a 5.5.
Oh, that'll put her in first.
So Sherman now in the lead, followed by Rouchet and Blank.
That'll be close. Oh.
And Erin Clifford.
1 point off.
A little over a point off the mark. So that means there's just one diver to wrestle this championship away from Claire Sherman in Cincinnati, and that's Katie Crown, the freshman for SMU.
It'll be close.
You see the point she needs to overtake, 51.7.
Wow, that's going to be close. Lincoln, 2.5 degree of difficulty. Her feet came open just at the end there. Did she do it?
And
Slightly
no.
off.
Claire Sherman will get another look here at Katie Crown. But sophomore from Cincinnati, Claire Sherman takes the women's 1-meter title. Congratulations to Claire, but what an event tonight. The women, the only individuals to grace the diving boards this evening, put on a nice show. We'll see Claire atop the standings. More points for the Cincinnati women now, as we'll return here on the American Digital Network.
59.90, the freshman from UConn, Erin Clifford. And your gold medalist in the women's 1-meter diving, her final score 2:61.45. A sophomore from Cincinnati, Claire Sherman.
Yet another Bearcat atop the podium, and a great showing on the diving boards. Our only diving event of the day. And that is going to bring us back